Hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Catholic connections pertaining to each of our lessons to language arts, math, and science. So as I was going through each lesson and our Catholic connections to each one, I realized just the importance of being able to connect Catholicism to the lessons that we'll be teaching to our future students, and just how significant that impact it can be on your students within all the different subjects that they learn, and making sure that Christ is present within those subjects of material that they are learning. So to start out for our language lesson, we chose to create a lesson based on the book Inside Out and Back Again. So never having read this book before, I know that as we're discussing as a group with the Catholic connection, we realized that this lesson could connect to the Catholic viewpoint in the way that it can help to affirm the dignity of every child through the activities that we had in our lessons and through the reading of their poem, which was one of the activities that we provided for in the lesson. So for example, our group chose to use the Journal of Catholic Education. We would have our students work on the activity where each student finds a saint that is native to the county that they themselves chose or where their ancestors are from. This would be able to help the students to see how saints who loved God deeply and wanted to do His will in their life could be learned about in this language arts lesson. Which is just really cool, because even if you don't use that book in a language arts lesson for your future classroom, for your future students, really any book that you choose, as long as you can, whatever the base is of that book, you could connect it to a Catholic connection while still using this same type of idea to connect it. And then for our math lesson plan, through discussing as a group how this particular lesson would connect to Catholicism, we discovered that through the way that we exemplify Christ to our students inside and outside the classroom, and how we are there for them, is how we can be Christ-like role models for them. Especially when the students are having difficulties with their assignments or with tests, that is the way that we as teachers can present ourselves to them in order to help them. And that's how we could connect this lesson plan to Catholic teaching. I know that even as I was, thinking about what I was going to say in this video for connecting our lessons to Catholicism, I was thinking about when I was in grade school. And, I remember now looking back, how would my teacher, my grade school teacher, connect our math lesson to, a Catholic teaching? And I remember that, being in 3rd or 4th grade, when I would be nervous about taking a math test, or I would get back a bad grade and I needed to go talk to the teacher about it, that the teacher would always give me that boost of confidence and just that respectfulness, that kindness towards me of, not putting me down in any way, shape, or form by how I did on my tests, but more importantly was able to help to guide me that, there's always another chance. There's always second chance that you can get to do better. So walking through that with me, I think really helped me to see God in that teacher, and that particular teacher allowed God to work through her to me and to her students. And I also remember, in grade school that my teachers would pray before each of our classes. So I think that's a great way that you could, intertwine Catholicism, the faith, with the math lesson or with any particular subject of, opening up in prayer so that the students can know what the focus and the center is of each subject, whether that be math, science, or language arts, or history class. Opening it up with a prayer helps the students to know what the meaning of learning is, and that it all goes back to doing God's will, and that our vocation right now is to be students. So then for our science lesson plan, we created the lesson to teach students about natural disasters and how to understand what they are and how they come about. So we found that through this lesson, it could connect to Catholicism by having us as a class pray for those who've been affected by natural disasters. And the students could also fundraise and put together a volunteer group that would help to serve families during the time of natural disasters. So, For example, I was thinking that if you are teaching grade school, middle school, or high school, maybe during the time of preparing for the Christmas season, you could take, 1 to 3 weeks to organize boxes for families, for a number of families that have been impacted and affected by natural disasters all around the world. And that we could put together boxes with, food cans or blankets or, warm clothes or socks, and then send them out before Christmas so that they could get them by the time of Christmas. And that this would be a great way to teach your students within this lesson how they could give of themselves to those around them, and just in a way step outside of themselves and, be taught how to put others' needs before their own. So, and especially being able to do this, if you do this lesson during, around the time of Christmas, then you could prepare your students to be able to send out boxes to families that have been impacted by the natural disasters. So in our lesson, we included a prayer for those who have been affected by natural disasters. So us as a class are going to pray that now. Okay, so now we have prayed this prayer, and that is really all that I have for you guys today, as I walked through each lesson and just gave you a little bit of an overview, some ideas, how you could connect a language arts, math, and science lesson to Catholicism. And thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys were able to learn some more ways to connect these subjects to Catholic teachings, and I hope you guys all have a Merry Christmas.